Hey everybody and welcome back. I had the incredible honor, honestly. I'm actually like blown away that I even got into it of Summer Game Fest Play Days. If you're not really sure what it is, it's pretty much an exclusive event for content creators, media, industry people to get hands on with games. Most games that are shown at Summer Game Fest. Some games weren't exactly playable; they weren't ready to be played. And some games just had presentations behind it, where there's a lot of like, here's. It was funny. It was like, here's a slideshow, and then we'll take a Q&A after. So there was a lot of that. It was really nice as far as the Q&A to kind of get a better understanding of what the game has to offer and kind of what to expect. Very unfortunate that some of them didn't have like full on playable demos or something you can get your hands on. But I did hop on some stuff with Matt, a lot of Capcom stuff, Resident Evil Veronica, Onimusha, some Sega, the Virtua Fighter, the new Virtua Fighter that's coming out. But I don't want to step on his toes because that's very much his thing. My focus, even though I was able to get into there and see, kind of what to expect. It's not my area of expertise really, so I just leave that to him. But it was nice to get to know a little bit more about it. I'm very excited about Virtua Fighter. I really love the fighting game beat 'em up aspect. Like that's what I want. I'm glad that they're not going to focus so much on like the online competitive scene, and you get like this full-fledged story out of it. And then anyway, I digress because I'm actually really excited about Virtual Fighter. But I did that. Sega, some Ace Combat. I watched Matt play that. There's a lot of me just watching Matt. Like you couldn't exactly have a spot to sit and play it because there was already spots filled. But I could go in and watch him play the game. But I think it would be like disingenuous to comment on the game, on like how it plays, because I didn't actually get a feel of it. I didn't actually sit there and play it, so it wouldn't be very honest to give you my feedback on what those games were about. So if you want more of that, just go watch Matt's. But I'm gonna focus a little more on the indie side of Play Days. So it's going to be ID at Xbox, Day of the Devs. Epic Games Publishing has some games that I was really excited to play. So just to name some, End of Abyss, Out of Words, I'm going to be discussing Way to the Woods, Grave Seasons. Let's see, Super Yooka-Laylee Kart was fun. So my experience just in general, it felt I was telling Matt, I was like, it kind of feels like, I don't know if you've ever went to like a summer camp or in grade school you had like field days, like kind of like where school is technically over but you still have to be there. So they kind of had like a free for all day where they had games that you can play and activities you can do just to fill the day, the last day before school like technically ends. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I was at a summer camp. And that's not a bad thing. I loved it. I had so much fun. So it's like you basically go in there and you get your little food tickets and stuff like that, and you're like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go up to this food truck or whatever." So it kind of feels like, "Oh, here's a bag lunch" type thing. It wasn't a bag lunch. It was like way better than that. But that's like just kind of how it feels. It kind of makes you feel like kind of like a kid again. Like you're just going around trying out these games, taking pictures, and there's like bigger content creators there. I saw Jacksepticeye there. I was like, oh my god! I said hi to him. I told my brothers, and he was like, oh my, because my brother's a huge Jacksepticeye fan, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so jealous. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to interrupt like what was going on with him. I was just kind of like passing by, like, oh hey, but yeah, a lot of games there, and usually by like appointment only type thing. So if they have an availability, sometimes I would go up and just ask, and sometimes they were like all really cool with like, yeah, we can fit you in. But yeah, for the most part, I had a really good time. I had a lot of fun. I got to learn about games that I wasn't necessarily interested in at first, but then I'm like, oh, okay, I could see me playing this. I can see why people enjoy this. But yeah, that's why I always tell people like, hey, if there's a demo available, play it. You know, experience new things, try new things. If you're stuck on always playing the same kind of genre, you're always into like Metroidvanias, you're always into Souls like, you're always into roguelikes, you're always into puzzles. Go outside your wheelhouse. Go outside your comfort zone with demos and just try it. You never know, you might like something. Because at first I was like, deck builders. What? Like, why? Why would anybody like a deck builder? And then I played like Death Howl and stuff, and I'm like, oh, dang, this is actually really good. There's actually a lot of thought and strategy into this, and I really enjoyed it. So I always tell people, you know, if there's a demo, check it out. And this was very much that. It was like, here's a demo, check it out, the event. You know, like this whole thing around like trying something and seeing if it's like something you would enjoy playing a full game of, or something you would want to tell others about. You know, it was definitely that. So all the games you're going to be seeing here are definitely games where I'm like, hey, I really wanted to play these specific games. Like I went into this like, I'm going to play that. I had a list. I'm going to play this, and this. And then there was one that was kind of like a surprise to me that you're going to see is Way to the Woods. Huge surprise to me because it wasn't even on my radar. But seeing it there and being able to play it, I'm like, oh, I immediately wish listed it. There's a lot of things where I'm like, nope, this stays on my wish list. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for other people to play this as well. And so I'm going to be talking about what to expect during the games, like what the developers have told me about the games that I did play. There's some times where I did play with the developers. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the footage. There was like, it was really strict on recording gameplay. You can record your facial reactions. You can record like a third of the screen, which I did for Matt, along with your facial reactions, but they were really like no recording. So it's just going to be me talking over like the game trailers and just kind of like explaining and going step by step, you know, what I experienced with this game at Playdays. So yeah, let's just get right on to it. All right, let's move on to some Stern Pinball, and specifically this Pokemon edition. I got to play it at Playdays. I had to schedule an appointment, and they had a few other machines, but it was mostly about the Pokemon and the Transformers. The Transformers video will be after this, where I'll talk a little bit more about that. But for the Pokemon one, I really enjoyed it. It felt really good. The flippers felt like a little more responsive than the Transformers one. And I know that the person who made this pinball machine is different than the people who made the Transformers one. And it definitely felt very different. This one felt a lot more smoother. And there was like way more interactive things going on. So like when I was playing, I was like, I'm not sure. Because you know how every pinball machine kind of has their own little gimmicks, like their own little objectives to do. With this one, you're basically trying to catch Pokemon. And then you can battle, and then sometimes you'll see Team Rocket come down and you'll have to like fight them, you know, with the ball. But it was really cool. Like, I was like, okay, I'm trying to get used to everything. I'm trying to understand like how the game works and everything like that. And I try to catch a Pokemon and it's like, oh, a Paris appears or something like that on the screen. And I'm like, okay, how can I catch it? How can I get it? Do I need to get more points? No, you have to hit the Pokeball that's on the field. And precision is like key to this. And I was like, oh my God, it's been so long since I played pinball. And I'm trying to like get the Pokeball. And once you eventually get the Pokemon, you can add it to your Pokedex and it shows you, it's like, oh, Pokemon added. And then eventually you'll get more points and then you'll unlock the ability to battle, which I eventually ended up doing. And I was battling Pikachu. It was like Pikachu against Paris or something like that. And yeah, I was trying so hard because I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing to lower Pikachu's health. I wasn't sure if it was point based, like based on what you're hitting, or if it's just like survive a certain amount of time without your ball going down or something like that. But I really loved this one. Stern Pinball, they are Chicago based. I'm curious if they've ever worked with Galloping Ghost, because Galloping Ghost has a like a whole building dedicated to pinball machines. But yeah, I was looking on their website and I was like, I wonder how much this goes for, because it's really fun. There's a lot of things on the field and it's just like a lot of work that went into it. It's like $7,000. And I was like, oh man, I didn't realize pinball machines were that expensive. I was thinking like 1,000 at most or something like that. But all the technology that goes into it, all the sound design, all the little bells and whistles that you see here, sometimes they'll have it to where you can like scan a QR code, which you'll see in the Transformers one. That one is a little more like technology based, a little more updated, a little more like modern with technology that it uses. But yeah, like their pinball machines, you can scan a QR code. You can have it to where it collects your score and it goes into like whatever everybody else is like. I think they make like a certain amount of pinball machines. So they're all like connected into like this online hub where you can like battle each other, like try to get like the highest score type of thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wanted to play so much more of it because it's like, okay, you're trying to catch a Pokemon and then you're trying to be more accurate with with the flippers, So it kind of tests your skill a lot more. There's a lot more interaction going on the field than I thought with the Transformers one. I want to see things happening. I want to like hit things, bouncing, all this other stuff. I like seeing that happen in pinball instead of like just focusing on the screen. Like, hey, here's like this cutscene, just watch it. Which it was more like that with the Transformers. But yeah, Stern Pinball Pokemon. I'm gonna put the link of it in the description so you can check it out if you got money like that, or if you're in Chicago, because they do have you can go into the store and check out their machines and stuff like that. But yeah, Stern Pinball Pokemon, probably my favorite. One of my favorite pinball machines. The other one was like a Batman, but it was like Adam West Batman. I don't remember what it was exactly because there's so many different pinball machines. But yeah, this is definitely like up there and like one of my favorite pinball machines that I've played so far. Okay, up next we have the Transformers pinball machine by Stern Pinball. And like I said before previously with the Pokemon, that this is a different group of people working on the pinball machines. And it definitely feels very different. As far as like hitting the buttons and the flippers, kind of like creating that momentum to really push the ball, it didn't feel like that. It really wasn't there. Pokemon had much more like oomph to it when you hit the flipper. With the Transformers one, you really gotta like hit those fucking buttons to see any kind of damage on that ball, because it wasn't very reactive as I hoped it would be. But if you're a huge Transformers fan, I think you would really like this. There's a lot going on with this technology-wise. It's not like a basic pinball machine where you hit things and whatever like that. There's a lot more screen dedication. So you're seeing way more like cutscenes. You're seeing way more objectives from the TV show. So I think that's pretty cool. It's definitely, I think a lot of Transformer fans would really like this because they even have the voice actors who play like the voice of Optimus Prime and Megatron. And I think that's really cool. I like that they incorporated that. But as far as the field, there's not much going on. Like there's like still things like the dinosaur and stuff like that. And then you'll get, to be able to shoot a ball out of there or something. And then all Optimus Prime does is kind of just stand there and you can hit his legs. That's really it. And there's not a lot of things moving too much, which I felt like was lacking. I really wanted more of that. I wanted more of like things going on the field rather than just watching a screen, because a lot of the times it would just like stop my gameplay on the board and be like, here, watch this cutscene. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it's nice, like nostalgic wise, if you're a huge fan of Transformers, to see like some of the show play out. But then it's like interrupting what you're doing and it kind of ruins the flow a little bit. Like you get into the groove and it's like, okay, watch this. And it's like, ah, shit, I gotta like, go refocus and try not to lose the ball while I'm doing this, And we didn't get to try it out, but there is like a battle mode, like a head-to-head mode where one person has one flipper, I have one side of the flippers, and there's two sets of flippers. So there's like the base flippers, and then there's one on the top, which I love. I love when there's multiple flippers, so then you can just like keep going with the points. But yeah, here's the battle mode here. We didn't get to try it out. I don't know exactly how you unlock it, if you need like a certain amount of points or something like that. But this one also has like the QR code where you scan and you connect with all the other different Transformers pinball machines, and then build up your score, and you can head-to-head type of thing. I'm not sure if it also works with like the battling. So when I was playing this, my ball got stuck. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? And I like told them, I was like, hey, my ball's gone. And they're like, oh, I guess your ball was like registered that it was still on field, even though it's not. So they're trying to like shake it out. And I was like, oh God, did I break this? Because I'm known to break games. And I'm like, did I fucking break a pinball machine already? But yeah, they're like, yeah, this doesn't really happen that often. It got stuck behind a certain area, like behind there. So I'm not sure what it was. And then I had a moment where the left flipper did not move at all. So I don't know what was going on with that machine that day, but definitely a better experience with the Pokemon machine as far as being interactive. And like the Pokemon machine drove me to get better at pinball, because I was like, oh, I got this far to catch a Pokemon. I really want to try and battle, so I have to like hone my skills to get this to hit the Pokeball. And this one, it's kind of like, no, you just kind of like do things, I guess. It didn't really feel like I needed much skill for it. But, if you're not like big into pinball and you're just kind of like, I just want to hit things, I just want to see things happen, you might enjoy this, honestly. But as far as price, it is around the same price as the Pokemon pinball, like $7,000. So if you got that kind of money, I mean, have at it. It's definitely cool. I will say that the cutscenes are very cool. Hearing the music, hearing the voice actors, it's all very cool. A lot of budget went into this, as far as like the presentation, as far as like the animation that you see. But I feel like it's just lacking with interactability. Like things just happening. But yeah, Stern Pinball. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Check it out. Okay, next we went over to Epic Games Publishing and we tried out Out of Words. And honestly, I'm really excited to play this when it comes out. It's handcrafted, clay, stop motion, and it's a co-op puzzle platforming game. It's really cute. What do you think about it?
Very impressed by it, just really from the animation, because you said something the day we played it, which I thought was really interesting, in that even though it's a claymation game with the sort of claymation style of animation, you didn't get motion sick from it.
Yeah, because usually like with Midnight Walk or South of Midnight, there's like a choppiness to it. And this one, it's like, it's so smooth, and I didn't feel like the motion sickness that I get from seeing like the animation being as choppy as it usually would be with like that kind of style of claymation stop motion.
Yeah, so it was just a really smooth playing game. And also, like you said, it feels a little bit close to something like Limbo, but much, much smoother.
Yeah, because it has like the challenging parts of Limbo, which you're gonna see later in this video, where timing is really gonna be crucial. Because you have like these like no gravity kind of sequences where it's like you're relying on each other for like that timing to like pass. You'll see later on you're gonna pass like this little stingray that like gives you like this gravitational pull or whatever, and you're gonna need that to get through the different areas. So I think I kind of like that, because usually with puzzle games, especially co-op, it's kind of like go over there, press a button, wait for the other person to go, and then they'll do something to get you on the other side. And that's kind of basic. But in this one, it's definitely more of like challenging puzzles, which I appreciate, because sometimes, you know, when you're doing co-op puzzlers and you've been doing it for so long, you want a little more challenge with it.
And not only challenge, but it comes off more natural in this game, because there's sometimes like a lot of co-op games, because they resort to pull the switch, you know, press the button, and it feels kind of gamey in that sense, where it's just like, yeah, I'm just kind of doing like going through the motions, where this one, like with the gravity stuff and the way it was presented, and with the way the world is and how it's made, the world itself is also made from clay and stuff. I felt like you were doing like more natural style, like
it didn't feel like you were going room to room. It felt like you were going through like a whole movie, and it was just like going by like very fluidly, I guess. Yeah. As far as like from like each area, it just kind of like a continuous thing.
Yeah, and then the other thing I think really to the game's credit is that it doesn't feel like using claymation and using, you know, practical sets and stuff, that stuff is just window dressing that you can't interact with, or you can't move through, or can't, like, we jumped in the water, you know, and we're swimming in the water.
Like, you can't just explore outside of some parts. Some parts are very like, no, you have to go either left or right, and then some like this we can go all over. But yeah, like we tested the bubble, and we were like, oh, maybe we have to stay close so then we don't die. But then we were like spread apart, because this isn't really our footage. This is like the footage that they gave us.
And yeah, I just to reiterate, and I'll be reiterating it too a lot, is at SGF you're not really allowed to record your own footage.
Unfortunately,
everything has to be B-roll given. So
yeah, I wish we could have gotten our footage, because I feel like it would have been like a little more experimental, because I was like, oh, what happens if, you know, if I go too close to this, I'll die and stuff like that. So this is kind of like, no, we're just going to go through it and show you, instead of like, oh, let's see if we test things, you know, like that kind of experience.
Yeah, like this is what we played, but it also misses sort of the joy of experimenting, like you were saying. Like
what happens when you get too close to those things? Or like, what happens if I do this, you know? Like I did a lot. Matt was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to see what happens.
You were very much the character from Monsters University. It was like, don't touch this. I'm going to touch it.
I'm going to touch it.
And yeah, you were very much, but it's actually kind of good, because that shows how much I think the devs really thought about this game, in a sense where my gamer brain was like, don't touch anything that moves hurts. And you were much more like open to like experimenting, which was good, because there were times where like I would avoid something that I didn't need to avoid, or like avoid going in an area, you know, that we needed to go, because I was just like, oh no, anything that moves kills you.
I've always been interested in death animations, especially in like stop motion. Like what gets put into that? Like, do they really care about putting a lot of effort into that? But yeah, that's what we were looking at. And this is the cutie, the little stingray. I don't even know what it is. I'm just gonna call it a stingray.
Yeah,
but like, it does like this crazy gravity thing that you have to go through. Aleph. Yeah,
and so whoever he's hanging on next to, he reverses their gravity.
Yeah, it's insane. It gets crazy. And like, depending on how close you are to each other, or like how quickly you kind of switch, like throw it, really. It's like a little hot potato type thing.
Yeah, and luckily you don't need to worry about if you're behind an object or whatever, he'll fly around it. Like, he doesn't get stuck, you know, on objects himself.
Yeah, I was looking through this and I was like, oh, that's actually a better idea than what we did. But that's the thing, like, I wish we had our gameplay, because we didn't do this. We did something different. And I think that's like kind of like the amazing part of it, where you can kind of, you know, take different strategies, you know?
I feel we were way more I don't want to say, but like ballsy in a way. We
were just like, fuck it, let's go. This was a little hard for me. I couldn't get into the mouth for the life of me.
This one was like pretty precise on how you had to get in there.
Yeah, you had to just go right in. It's like, get in my mouth. Like, okay, sure. But yeah, I love the whimsy. It's very like Fantastic Mr. Fox. Some of the parts reminded me, like this part reminded me so much of James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
Just like the color and everything. But yeah, absolutely loving it.
Yeah, and I don't know if they showed in this video, but like, yeah, they actually show how they created these sequences and these animation sequences, and it's all, you know, it is true stop motion claymation animation.
This is the
yeah, I remember this because like you're kind of just literally thrown into it or belched into it.
And the thing, like, we were experimenting, we were like, how far off screen could we go? And we went pretty far off screen. It's not like as soon as we don't see you, it's like, no, you're dead. Mm-hmm. So you get like some leeway with these puzzles, you know?
Yeah, so here's the great thing about this. Definitely no AI here.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Because you can't have AI literally make you a bicycle or a bug or whatever.
I mean, look at that. It looks so good. And this guy was a jerk. We met him and I was like, this guy's a dick.
Yeah. And we didn't see what happened after that because we got to the title drop and that was kind of the end of the demo.
I think that might have been further into the story, but yeah, very excited to play this when it comes out.
It was almost disappointing because he is animated so well.
Yeah.
And the way his talking looks so good, and yet we don't have mouths.
Yeah.
And we must scream.
Yeah, like why is he the one who can talk but we can't in this world, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of curiosity in that and like all the different creatures that you see. And you can kind of interact with them a little bit. Like, you could see, like, we tried, like, sneaking up on them so we can get closer. And they're like, nope, we don't want to be near you. So maybe...
I thought these things were bad guys at first.
Yeah, maybe further along, like, things will start being more, like, friendlier to you. Or think that you're not bad and they like come up to you closer because right now they're just kind of like not sure what to think about you.
You know what's interesting? I don't think they show it here, but remember when we spent a lot more time trying to interact with them.
Yeah, like crouching and trying to sneak.
And they would imitate our movements. They would like crouch with us and jump with us. And
they would jump in the water and things like that.
Yeah, there's a very playful nature to some of the interactions in this world.
Yeah, and then there's some that are not playful at all.
Yeah.
Like they will murder you. But yeah, it was a great time. I'm excited to play it with you when it comes out.
Yeah, and it's a great co-op game. You don't have to worry about split screen or I mean, I have no idea if it's going to be online or not, but like,
it is. It's going to have online cross-platform.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yes.
Because the nice thing is you're sharing the screen. You don't have to have this split up. You know, I'm kind of like
because the whole thing is that they want you to be close together when you're going through this game. Just like what you saw before with the bubble, they want you to be near each other and get through it together, like truly together. Yeah.
I mean, it's all in the title because you have to communicate without words. But like it's very, like I said, it's very natural feeling on how they want you to solve stuff, and it's not just push button, pull lever. Yeah. Or you stand here, I stand here. Like
which I love. I love.
It was actually a lot more interactive and a lot more active.
A lot more complex, I would say. Yeah, because the timing is gonna kill us so much. But
we did really good, I thought. Though.
We did. We breezed through it, honestly. I mean, if I didn't like experiment and die a lot, we would have gone through it a lot faster. But yeah, this is the jumping around and playing with them.
Yeah, they kind of show it here how they kind of like mimic your movements and stuff.
But yeah, check it out. Wish list. Expect it soon. I don't know if they'll be having a demo, but look out for that. This is definitely going to be day one. I'm just going to say right now, day one.
I hope they do, because more people need to try it out, because I think it's going to be overwhelmingly positive.
It's going to be so good. Okie dokie. Now we're moving on to Day of the Devs, and you know me, I'm all about indie games, and I really wanted to focus on indie games. So Day of the Devs was like a perfect area to hang out in and just like interact with all the games there. So super Yooka-Laylee Kart. It was really fun to just hang out with one of the developers on there and just chat about the game, and it basically explaining how everything works and all these like tips and tricks type of things. So we were going head to head in a Grand Prix, and I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my god, like I'm not very good at like Mario Kart or Super Mario Kart or like Diddy Kong Racing. I'm not very good at it. But this felt great to play. You can notice that it's a little bit slow, and like in the trailer, like how you're racing and stuff like that, and it definitely felt slow at first, but then things start happening. Each character does their own thing. They have their own special ability type of thing going on here, and then there's interesting things that you can customize. We did a run. We did like one of the races was we were all one character, and it was chaotic. Like the character that you chose, it's the little character, the little yellow character with the blue headband, and it was because they're just bouncing everywhere, and everybody's bouncing off of each other. It was crazy, and I lost that. I lost that one, but it was so cool to see how everything works and how the layout of the tracks were. Because at first I was like, ooh, this is kind of slow. I want it to be faster. You know how like you can change how fast the racing is. And then like you get to the tracks and you're kind of like drifting and you're trying to get used to it, and you're like, oh yeah, I think it's balanced in the sense where, yeah, it feels a little slower at first, but when things start happening in the game throughout the race, and all the different characters have their own special abilities, like you could definitely see how you're like, oh, maybe it's okay that it's a little slower or feels a little slower or looks a little slower, because then it gets a little more complex. And especially with all the customization you can do, like you can have it to where everybody's all one character. You can steal somebody's character. You can like, I guess, like bump into them and just steal their, like, kind of camouflage as them, and I guess get their abilities. I don't know if he said it's for the rest of the match or if it's for like a specific amount of time or something like that, but that is an option. And 8-player like local co-op is crazy. That sounds so fun. That sounds like something like me and my cousins would be on this like all night. And I'm excited for when this comes out, because I'm gonna be going over to my family's house and I'm gonna be like, hey, let's play this crazy ass game. You know. But I played as Laylee, which seemed like a more relaxed, chill character as far as like what they can do, because then you get like the characters who get like drift boosts. You know, they get like very bouncy. When they like hit somebody else or something like that. They each have their own special ability, and I think it'd be good for people who are already kind of used to these games and want a little more challenge, so they'll pick a little like a character that's a little more challenging, so it feels like it's more balanced for them. And then, you know, me, I'll just stick to the kind of like the easier characters to get a handle on, you know. But yeah, very excited. They have a playtest on Steam. You can sign up for the playtest, and hopefully you get in so you can try it out yourself. But I'm gonna put that in the description. And yeah, Invisible. We did a track Invisible, and I thought it was gonna be like so difficult, because I was like, I can't see you, I can't see anybody else, but you definitely get the hang of it, and you like, it's like you're there by yourself. I mean, yeah, you can see like them like treading the track, and like when they drift, you can see like the sparks and everything like that. You can see that, you can definitely see that, and so you know where people are, sort of. But not seeing their full character, it kind of helps. It kind of like zones you out, where it's like, okay, I'm just focusing on myself. I don't have to worry about everybody else, you know? But yeah, that was really cool. And I lost the Grand Prix, obviously. but I had so much fun. He was just super chill to talk to, and just like, and he's like, yeah, you're actually doing pretty good. I'm like, thank you. I know I'm not, but thank you. I appreciate you. I'm just glad he didn't let me win, you know? Like, I would feel so terrible if he was just like, oh, here, loser, just win. Just win. But no, he definitely put up a fight, and I love that. I love that kind of competition. I love, like, I want to get better, and I felt like I was getting the hang of it. I'm not really big on drifting. I kind of stay away from it because I'm not very good at it. But in this, drifting is kind of essential. You really need to learn how to drift, because there's tight corners. It's a small track sometimes, and it's like, you know, really like angle yourself so you can get like a good straight shot sometimes. And I think that was great. That kind of like got me used to drifting. It got me used to like being able to navigate better. in a racing game. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's on my wish list. I did sign up for the playtest. Hopefully I get in so I can play some more of it. And I am really excited for this when it comes out. But yes, Super Yooka-Laylee Kart. Day of the Devs. Amazing. It's probably like the most fun I've had in like a racing game. Yeah, Mario Kart's fine, but this one, it's like I want to try the different characters, whereas like Mario Kart, it's like I'm just gonna stick to this one, and you just kind of like use like the different cars or whatever. But this one, it's like no, I want to see what this character does. I want to see what that character does. You know. Okay, next is Grave Seasons by Blumhouse Games. And I'm sorry about the different perspectives on this video. We weren't exactly allowed to record like actual gameplay. We were only allowed to record like our expressions, what we talk, you know, what we're saying and stuff like that, and just focus on our faces. So you're gonna see a lot of that throughout this. And he was just explaining to me like, hey, this is how farming works. You know, I got to name my farm. I got to, you know, change my gender and things like that, and kind of like personalize the experience. And obviously cooking. You can't have farming without cooking, you know what I mean? How you gonna eat?
Yeah, it's like it's a quick, you know, like Animal Crossing fishing, kind of similar to that. And so once you do that, you'll be able to break into any person's house.
Then he was just explaining to me how breaking and entering works. You know, do you want to risk that? Do you want to risk having a person hate you and I don't know, maybe even kill you or something? Or maybe you go into the wrong house. Maybe you find something you don't want to find. Anyway, you use a crowbar and you play like this little mini game, and if you lose the mini game, your crowbar breaks. And that's actually what happened to me. I wish I had gameplay of me, because I did break my crowbar because I missed one. But yeah, you can either break and enter, or you can raise your affinity with characters and build that relationship, so then you can just be invited in, you know? And yeah, you're gonna come across people who were murdered, and maybe you'll get murdered too. Who knows? Who knows what you choose to do? But you have to find clues. You have to go through like the murder scene and gather evidence, gather clues of who did it. So I love this mechanic that they implemented, where you hold down a button and it shows you everything in the crime scene that you need to pick up, that you need to view, and you need to gather. And I thought that was so helpful, because there's too many games where it's like you have to pixel hunt. You have to like press A on every corner, every inch of the area in order to find what you need to find. Where this is like you hold it down, oh, that's what I missed. Let me go over there and collect it. And it's also cool because they said before where you can grow crops, you can grow certain things in order to help certain people. And I think that's interesting, the replayability in that. Like, ooh, what can I do differently? How can I help more? How can I save more people? Or hell, maybe you want to kill everybody. How can you achieve that? I don't know. And it was really interesting how certain characters react to certain items, and just getting more information about their personalities, about just kind of like building up the evidence. Like, okay, well, let's narrow this down. Let's narrow this list down to like who would most likely want this person dead. And seeing how each character reacts, that's another thing. Like, how does that character react to the person dying? Are they happy about it? Are they sad about it? Like, it's so interesting. And especially how the characters treat you. It's like, damn, what did I do? Like, I just got here. Why are you acting like that?
Didn't like it. I didn't know that there was someone who didn't like the sound of the game. That's always fun to play. Alright. You got a fortune. You know, the most important things in the game are that we open at 12. Kind of lazy. Starting at noon. Not really didn't. So this is actually artist custom. If you would like to break and enter into it.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed just being able to get hands-on with the game and talking to the people behind it, because you get so much more insight, and it was such a lovely, like, comfortable experience. Because, you know, sometimes you get some of the, like, the appointments where it's like they're just kind of like staring at you watching the game, and it was nice to have like a conversation and just be relaxed and chill and just like have fun with it, you know. And they definitely wanted to be more of a narrative experience. The whole having it, you know, the game that never ends, that is like Stardew, you know. They want an ending. They want you to achieve different endings. That the Stardew Animal Crossing things are kind of like just an added bonus, really. It's mostly about solving the murders. Like, I love Murder, She Wrote. I love Columbo. I love like watching like solving mysteries type of thing. So this has always been like up my alley. I've had it on my wish list for a while. I'm so excited for when it comes out. And I hope you are too. I hope you're just excited because there's a demo that's going to be available soon. I think in a few days, actually. And I would love to just try out the demo again, just to see like what I can do. Because like I said, there was like a limited amount of time. You had like about 20 minutes to get through. And he was just kind of like guiding me, doing like a speed run, you know? It was funny because he was like, oh, here, you can run. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get through this. But yeah, Grave Seasons, Blumhouse Games. Check it out. Okay, next up is Idea Xbox's Way to the Woods. And I wasn't entirely sure what to expect with this one. I was just kind of like wandering around because there are some spots where it's like, hey, if nobody's there, you can go up and play it. It's kind of like a first come, first serve thing. The developer wasn't there. I believe some people that I was talking to around that area said that they were probably on like a lunch break or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to jump right on in and see what this game is about. Because I didn't really know what to expect. But it asks you like, hey, what's your name? You can put your name, kind of like personalize it. And then it asks you, what is most precious to you? And obviously I put Foxy. Foxy is most precious to me. She's my little baby. And I absolutely loved it. Like, I had such a good time. The whole time I was like, oh, people around me were probably like, this girl crazy or something. But it was so cute. Just like seeing it sleep, because there's a moment, because basically you're trying to get back to the woods where you live, and for some reason, for some unknown reason, you are stuck in like a city. And it starts off, you're at a train station and you're trying to get everything working again. So the whole gimmick is like you can absorb light and you can expel it to kind of solve puzzles. So it's like you can absorb light from cell phones, from like handheld video game consoles, from like laptops, from walkie-talkies, a bunch of things. It'll be scattered around and you kind of absorb it through your antlers and hold it and store it until you need to use it. And you'll eventually find some other animals along the way to help you solve puzzles, to help them get to where they need to be. Because there was like a cat that I met, and all the other cats kind of left him. They're just like, oh, we're late. We have to get on this train. We got to go. And they just left this poor cat sleeping on the bench. And so I woke it up and I had to like pick it up and like, here, go ahead, go sit, go sit and hang out and wait for me to like turn on this train, basically. And it's really cute. You can ram these vending machines, and like sometimes there would be like a bunch of soda cans popping out, and I'm like, I don't want a soda can. I can't feed a soda can to my Foxy. So then I would try to keep ramming it until I got chips, because then those are like the only things that the little baby deer can eat are like the chips. It can't do anything with the soda cans. So it was super cute. And sorry about the game trailer. This game trailer is old. I know this game was featured on Wholesome Games just recently, but it didn't have an updated game trailer. This was from years ago. So I just found out about this game when I was at Playdays. But apparently this has been in development for quite some time, and people are waiting, and I am waiting, and I wish listed this, and I'm like, I need a demo. I need to try out more, because the puzzles are so cool. There's a part, excuse me, there's a part where you can use your light for these fish. Like you're in like this tunnel, and it's a see-through tunnel. You can see out there, and everything's underwater, and there's like buildings and stuff like that, and there are fish, and you can use your light to befriend fish, and they can clear out like all the muck that is like built up, and then you get to see more of the outside world and what's happening, and kind of like just build up this narrative, like what is going on, where are the humans, like why are we like stuck, what is all this goo? And I think that was really interesting. I loved the puzzles. I love being able to interact with other animals and to kind of like help each other. That was really amazing. The one thing that I wasn't sure if it was part of how the game will eventually like when it fully releases, how it'll play out, or if it was just because sometimes when developers go there, they kind of make a playable demo that skips things, that kind of like omits some things and adds things. Like they just kind of like they want it tailored to a specific amount of time for you, because we do only have like maybe half-hour blocks, an hour at most sometimes, but they kind of wanted to have like a specialized demo. And I wasn't entirely sure if that was the case for this, but when you start a new area, you're there with your little baby. But I noticed that when you progress, when you go a little further, your baby's just not there. And there's a button where you can call your baby, and it'll be like, oh, hey, I'm here too. And it'll call back to you, and then it'll come running. But every time I like progress further into the area to do these puzzles, the baby just was not following me. I don't know why. I don't know if that's going to be like a thing where it's like, no, the baby's going to wait here until you know it's safe type of thing. But you can also use the little baby for the puzzles. So it'll like, it's so cute. It's like breaking and entering, like using your child. And like you could be like, there's like this hole in the wall or something like that where you're too big to get into, but you need to go that way. You need to open that door. So you call your baby. Your baby's like, oh, I'm on it. I'm gonna do this, and it'll crawl in and just open the door for you. It's the cutest thing. I loved it. It was so adorable, and it reminded me so much of Foxy because there's a part where you get the train working, all the cats are on the train with you, and it's like, okay, sit and wait. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll sit and wait. And then it's like, wait some more. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we end up falling asleep on the seats, and we're all like curled up, and it was like the cutest thing because Foxy does that. She just curls up into like a little ball. But yeah, Way to the Woods, definitely something that surprised me. It surprised me because it wasn't on my radar. It was just something that I stumbled on. And I thought that was like one of the most interesting things about Playdays, where sometimes even if you don't have appointments set, you can just wander around and maybe they'll have an open availability so you can check something out. And that was like maybe half the games that are in this video were very much like that, where it was like right time, I had some time to kill, and everybody was busy doing something else, so I got a chance to play it hands-on. And this was definitely one of them, and it made it to my, like, as soon as I put that controller down, I opened up my Steam wish list and I was like, wish listing this. I want more. I want to wait. And I'm sure tons of people feel that way because this has been in development for like years, and people are just waiting now. But yeah, definitely like hidden gem, I would say. Hidden gem of my weekend. But yeah, check it out. Wishlist it. Just like with all the other games, I'm gonna put it in the description. The link, if they have a Steam page, I'll put the link there, or I'll a link to whatever system they'll be on eventually, type of thing. Okay. End of Abyss, also Epic Games Publishing. Not exactly co-op, but we did play together, and we have very differing opinions about this game. I enjoy it. I'm okay because there's like crafting in it. I'm okay with it. Matt is obviously not okay with crafting, but I love the style of Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares with a gun is what I've been describing it as. But it's really cool. I think you're underwater. The guy was very vague when he was talking to us.
He didn't want to say if it was like another planet, deep space, underwater. He's like, oh, you'll have to find out from playing.
But judging from the helmet that we have, it kind of looks like it's an underwater theme. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the enemies seem very, I don't know, deep sea coded. I don't know. So very, very creepy. There's like, I don't even know what it is. If it's like barnacles or wormy stuff. I don't know. It's kind of hard to make out what it is. But anyway, we're kind of like dropped in there in the demo that they gave us. And we're just trying to craft bullets. You have this scanning thing that if you're unsure where a door leads you to or what the door needs in order to open, you can scan it and it'll kind of give you all that information, which I think is amazing because I always get lost and I'm like, where did I need to go with this? What do I need to do with this thing? So yeah. I really appreciated that. I think the scanning was like interesting because it was like a really big quality of life thing to help.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like constantly run back and forth on the same rooms or whatever. Yeah. But
and you do have a map too.
Yeah.
You have a map as well.
Well, the game is actually very, very tough. Like they don't pull any punches here, and I think the big thing you noticed too was that the enemies do not give up their pursuit.
They don't. So I was like, okay, let me, because you can dodge. So I dodged because I didn't have any bullets, and I was like, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna beeline to over here, and the enemies were still coming. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. And then the more the enemy, they had like a group of enemies just keep going for me. I was like, this is not good. I really need to craft something and fast. So you have like grenades, you have flares, you have I think 2 different types of guns, and you can upgrade and you can craft. And what we've noticed is that for the flare, if you throw a flare, the enemies will gravitate towards it and kind of be mesmerized by it. Like, whoa, what is this thing? So that kind of gives you some time to get past them, or just throw a grenade at them while they're huddled up.
I will say the grenade didn't have a huge blast radius.
It didn't. It was like one enemy was kind of like the range of the explosion. It wasn't very big. It was more like a flash grenade, it felt like.
Yeah,
it didn't
almost,
it didn't really do much. There was no heft to the grenade, really.
Yeah, so the thing that I thought was, I mean, it's very unique, but I don't particularly like it, is the death mechanic in this game. So when you die, you go back to these checkpoints, which are basically like pods that clone you or something like that. I don't know. You go back to these checkpoints, right? But when you go back, the bullet loss is permanent. So let's say you had 10 bullets, you fired 5, and then you died. When you respawn, you have 5 bullets.
Yeah.
And the way to make more bullets is to use the fragments. The fragments, from what I saw, were pretty much mostly dropped by enemies you defeated. So, to me, this seems like a game that you could very, very easily get soft locked in.
It was very much like a cyclical, like, craft to live, live to craft, like...
You did get pretty good amount of fragments when you killed enemies. And then, obviously, like, the bigger the enemy or the more, like, intense of an enemy, they would give you more fragment pieces. And so, it would take, like, you get, like, 5 bullets for every 20 fragments or something like that. So it wasn't really too hard. However, if you maybe were just stuck in a particularly challenging part where you weren't really killing enemies, or like you ran out of ammo and then died and you didn't have any fragments on you, you kind of there wasn't really any good options there. I don't know how the save and load function of the game works. This is literally just off of dying and respawning.
Yeah.
That may be different for like manual save and load, but
but just based off of that, I hope they change that, because that's also one thing I don't like. I don't mind the crafting, but like losing that when you die is an issue. Yeah,
that's where I was just kind of like, and maybe the game's designed around it. Maybe there's something we missed, because we only have so much time, on these play day sessions. So to me, it just seemed like a game that was very willing to open itself. I should say you do have a melee attack. It doesn't seem very good, but you can manually like swing at things. That doesn't consume ammo. But like it seems like you could easily put yourself in a situation where you're out of ammo and then you die and you have no ammo from where you respawn, and the enemies respawn. But you had the same ammo as when you died.
Yeah.
So that was where I was a little bit like taken aback by the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an issue, yeah.
Unless maybe in the game you'll have like, maybe like a pistol or something that has like infinite ammo, but it's not very good.
Right.
Maybe there's something like that.
Or like a knife, like you always have that.
Yeah. Something like that, where it's like you're not actually soft locked. It's just extremely difficult to rebound. You gotta find some fragments to make some bullets, and then that'll slowly build up more. But by the end of our demo run, we had a pretty good run where we had killed a decent number of enemies, and we had a ton of crafting material by the end of it. So
it's like, okay, I need to find a crafting bench so I can like get more bullets and upgrade things, because you can't upgrade your weapons. I don't know what to like what extent you can upgrade it, but there's definitely that mechanic in it. I like the different enemy types, honestly. Like it wasn't that long of a demo, but the enemy types that you saw like within like the first 5 minutes, there's a lot of variety.
Yeah, and they do different things, or they attack in different ways. And
I
do actually generally like the vibe of it. Kind of has a sort of somewhat Little Nightmares style to it.
Yeah.
But you're armed now, at least.
Yeah.
Like it's not a Rambo game. It's not Contra. You're not going to be guns blazing through it. But you do feel like you can actually fight back in this oppressive world, rather than just run from it. Now,
our character look like the appearance, like the height kind of looks like a child, but we're not entirely sure if it is a child or if it's like a full-grown adult.
Or a robot.
Or a robot, even. Yeah, we don't know.
No idea, yeah.
We don't know.
But it definitely like seems like it's taking off of some of what some of these are former developers from Little Nightmares 1 and 2, some of them. So it's I believe a new dev team, new indie studio.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the story, really. Like, what are we doing down there? What happened to these people?
Yeah, this one's actually pretty interesting. I think there were files, I believe. I can't remember if we came across anything that you could read or not. I kind of skip through that stuff because when you have very short play times,
Yeah.
I don't really want to spend too much time reading a document.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll watch.
Yeah, there's a
further.
note. There's a note in this, but yeah, if you're curious of what the note says, just pause it and read it. But yeah, I'm excited. October 1st. These horror games in October, man.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing else coming out around that
Spooky
time.
season. But yeah, that was End of Abyss. Yeah, it's on my wish list. Definitely, I do want to play a day one. I know you're like crafting, but I'm like, it's fine.
Being crafty.
That's
But
okay.
The reality is, though, I think if you like survival horror, you're really going to enjoy this one.
Yeah. Okay, next we have New Blood's Tenebris Somnia. And I got to sit down with the devs and kind of just discuss more about the game and what to expect. And they kind of took me through different areas. And I got to see some of the combat, some of the puzzles, separate from the demo. I played the demo about a year ago. And from what I gathered, they told me that the demo was basically still the same. So they took me like different times of the game just to see how things look and just to kind of get like a better idea of what to expect during the game, because it is a very much a psychological horror. Like you're going through memories and you're trying to piece together and you're trying to understand what's happening with these characters, with the woman and then her boyfriend. It feels very much like Silent Hill, like Resident Evil as far as gameplay wise, and it incorporates really cool practical effects, live action cutscenes. And that's what really got me interested in this game. I was like, oh wow. Usually they have like an FMV style, but this one is like, no, it's like you're watching like a TV show or a movie. And they did mention that there are parts of films that you can find throughout the game, and it creates a full film for you to watch. And I was like, oh dang, that's actually really cool. Like I'm excited. It makes you want to find everything and see all the little secrets, you know, and see maybe you can get more information on the characters that way, a little more of the story through that, and kind of better understand the characters and what they're going through. But yes, it's a psychological horror. You're going to be going through memories. Some are like skewed memories. It's like, you know, how you try to, you know, think back on what you did, or maybe you and somebody else have like a different perspective on like the same situation. Like you were both there, but you both remember it very differently. It's sort of like that. You're just trying to collect these memories and make sense of everything. But October 16th is when it comes out. It's already on my wish list. I already played the demo. If you're interested in the demo, I suggest checking it out to see if it's something you would enjoy. I really enjoyed the practical effects of it. It's very cool. It's very well made. It's very budget. Like there's like good budget in it. And when we were in the room when he was showing me all this, they had like the props, and I was like, "Oh man, it looks so cool." And it was cool to see like in person what it looks like, you know. But yeah, Tenebris Somnia, check it out on Steam, and you could pre-order it. They have that, but just keep in mind that the pre-order, when you want a physical copy, it comes later. So just so you know, in case you want to like hurry up and play it, maybe get digitally and like order a physical afterwards or something like that. Okay, now we're gonna get into some of the games that were good, but they didn't quite resonate with me. They're not really something that I would be interested in playing the full game of. As a demo, I think they were just fine, but maybe it'd be more geared towards other people rather than myself. So I decided to add those in case you wanted to check them out. And I decided to add those games here because, I don't know, maybe you would be interested in it. So you're going to be seeing like a very trimmed up trailer of each game. And if you're interested in it, it'll be in the description, a link to the games, wishlist it. I don't know when exactly they're going to have demos available, but if you do wishlist it, you'll get a notification saying, hey, a demo's available whenever it becomes available. So yeah, check these out.
When I woke up this morning, I thought today would be like any other day. And again, here I am. The gods are probably long dead by now. All of them. When I first realized it, I was sure it was a good thing, because it meant that people would be free. And I'm not so sure anymore.
Okay, just gonna watch some highlights real quick and check some focus. Life used to feel like a coming of age that was never gonna end. Then it all changes.
Since I was a little kid, I've always liked drawing, whether that was with pencils or markers or scissors or collage, whatever I could get my hands on, really.
And I wanted to create a gameplay structure that showed off all those different styles in different worlds. The main story takes place in New York City, but Bub is an artist, and he's constantly bringing the player into his memories and into his art. And so you might dive from a pen and ink style New York City directly into a childhood school hallway and into a show choir performance where he's nervous if he'll be able to dance correctly.
Check this out.
Oh my god, look at that!
Something. Through the power of gaming. Hey!
I'm sorry. Here? Look out, a grenade!
Huh?
It's the Western robot now.
What? Oh, the ball!
Okie dokie, that about wraps up my Playdays experience with all the hands-on stuff that I did. I did do like closed door stuff where it's mostly just presentations, Q&A, and it basically gives you like the gist of what to expect and how it's developing. Nothing really like anything playable. But yeah, let me know if you guys wishlisted anything. And again, wishlisting helps a lot, and it also notifies you if a demo becomes available in the future, or even a playtest. There is some playtests going on that you can sign up through Steam or through like their website or something like that. But I'm gonna put the link in the description for all the games that I played, so it's gonna be time-stamped, really easy to access, to watch, stuff like that. And let me know if there was something that I may have slept on that has a demo available on Steam, and I'll check it out. I'm really interested in seeing what else that I missed, really. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.